You're showing up, you're creating content, you're posting, you're doing all of the right things, and something still isn't working. You're struggling with consistency, with ideas, with having the energy, the will, and even the desire to show up in the marketplace, whether that's online or in person. And chances are you probably have blamed the algorithm, the gurus, maybe even yourself. But I'm here to tell you that's not it. And by the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly why this market presence has felt so hard. So let's dive into this. First and foremost, what is market presence? Over these past few episodes, we've been talking about the different layers of visibility, that inner presence, that client presence. And today we're talking about that external layer, which is market presence. And honestly, this is the layer that most entrepreneurs think of when it comes to visibility. It's literally how you're showing up in the market. It's your content, your reach, your voice, your consistency. It's everything external and is the leading cause of our stress, our anxiety, our doubt, and even our procrastination. But what we don't realize is that what we experience in our market presence is literally a reflection of our inner presence. And because we don't necessarily take this perspective, we begin to blame all of the external things like the algorithm, the gurus, or we even turn to doubting ourselves. Doubt that we are smart enough, experienced enough, funny, entertaining enough. I mean, how many times have we said, I'm not dancing, I'm not very funny, there's nothing to my life. My life is boring. I have nothing to share. We literally begin to believe that we aren't capable or that creating market presence really isn't worth it. It's not worth our time, our energy, our money. I mean, how much money have you dove into or spent on gurus or memberships that are giving you all of the templates, all the things that you need, saying just fill in the blanks and post it and you'll start to go viral? Right? Or maybe we've hired out a manager to do the work for us because we see them working with so many clients that do so well. And so we begin to wonder, like, why is this not working for me? It must be something that you're doing. And you know what? I'm not getting the results that I was promised or that I expected. And so I'm not investing in this anymore. When the reality is, it has absolutely nothing to do with that social media manager. Right? We just begin to think that it's pointless and that I'm not going to waste all of my time and energy on creating a social media presence or any kind of market presence because it's not bringing in any new money or new clients or new meaningful relationships. And all of this is that inner presence that does not serve us because we are literally projecting it on the external problems. And this, my friends, is what this work is all about, this visibility work, the inner presence and how we are actually leading ourselves. You know, we continue to look externally for leadership, for help, for guidance. Tell me what to do. Give me the formula. Send me the blueprint. Put me on your newsletter so that you can send me a PDF that tells me exactly what to do and how to do it. But when we do this, we are literally abandoning our true selves and saying that we don't have the capability of implementing what is right for us. We need somebody else to tell us what is right for us. And then we go and we do it. We follow it, even though it could feel really icky, or we just know like this is not the way because you feel the resistance when you start to implement it. These are all signs that you are acting in a way that is not designed for you to show up. And I'm no exception to this rule. Now, don't get me mistaken. For years, I looked to mentors and coaches. I joined masterminds. I bought course after course. I have invested tens of thousands of dollars into trying to figure out the right way. How am I supposed to do it? And every single time that I would implement what I was told of how I should be creating visibility and bringing in new clients into my business actually stalled more and more as I absorbed their advice or adopted their way of doing business. Now, when I made the pivot from wedding photography into brand photography, I knew nothing about visibility. I knew nothing about marketing. I literally came from the Indian wedding world where everything was by word of mouth. And that is a version of visibility. It's actually your client presence, right? But there was no market presence really that happened because everything was community based and was all by word of mouth. So when I made this pivot into branding and marketing photography, I had a lot to learn. So what did I do? I invested in somebody who was doing exactly what I wanted to do. And there were two sections of working with her. And the first one was how to conduct a brand photography session, what that workflow looked like, the planning process, what the expectations were, and how I could put together my own workflow. And the brand photographer that I hired to do this coaching with me, I learned a lot from her in that aspect. And I gained a lot of clarity on what I wanted my process to look like. But when we pivoted over to the actual marketing portion of it, I just felt the creepy crawlies all over my skin. The things that she was asking me to do. Now, granted, this was back in 2018, 2019, and people were cold DMing on social media. And this is exactly what she was telling me to do. And I was like, no, 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 no. I can't do this. This just feels so wrong. But she seemed to know what she was doing. She had a successful business. So I thought, you know what? I'm learning here. And so I gave it a try for like a week. And y'all, I couldn't do it. So I totally erased everything that she taught me. And I said, I've got to figure out my own way of doing this. So I put my head down. I figured things out because I followed my gut, my instincts. I honored my energy and my emotional waves without even realizing that that's what I was doing. And in doing this, I went from making $27,000 in my first year as a brand photographer to $120,000 that next year. And the following year, I made another six figures. And then the following year, I was on track to make another six figures before my whole health debacle took everything down. But as I was continuing to hit this six-figure mark, this fear came up and over me, and I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to sustain it. So what did I do? I started to doubt myself, and I started joining courses, hiring mentors and coaches. I joined masterminds. I wanted to know, what did I not know? What was I not doing that was going to help me sustain it? And I started implementing their ideas, their workflows, their strategies, their frameworks, their blueprints. And it slowly started to pull me away from everything that I had built from my own internal wisdom that brought me up to that six figures in the first place. And this is where my business really started to stall. I started to become burnt out. I was even getting to the point where I was resenting going to photo shoots because I was not working with my ideal clients. Now, hear me loud and clear. I am not by any means saying that we shouldn't invest in our business. Please do not misinterpret me. I still, to this day, invest in my business with a mentor, with a community, and I hire experts to do things in my biz that it needs that are literally outside of my realm of expertise. I am not saying that we are here to do things alone. It takes a village, y'all. Entrepreneurship takes a village. Okay. But who we are hiring, how they are supporting us, and what are we implementing from them is the key. And the difference is that the investments that I make now are in people and containers that support me in my direction, that help guide me on my way. They are not investments that are implement what I am doing because it's the best way or what you should be doing or what the algorithm wants you to do, or this is the only way that you're going to see success and I'm the living proof of it. The world right now is literally shifting from this follow me and do what I do to what is your internal guidance system telling you to do? And what can you start to do today to honor that? To follow yourself, to lead yourself with a support system in place that is supporting you, guiding you along your journey. And a lot of us don't know what that really looks like. Or maybe we do because we have experienced it from time to time, but then we start to doubt ourselves. So if you're doubting yourself right now because you had an idea and it feels really good for you and you start to implement it or you share it with other people, hey, this is my idea, this is what I'm going to do. And they're like, I don't think that's a good idea, or I wouldn't do it that way. Here's what I would do. And you start to doubt yourself because, well, maybe this isn't a good idea. Or maybe, oh, that's a great idea. I like what you're going to do, so I should be doing that too. We each have our own design, our own way of showing up and being visible and having a strategy that is best for us. And here's the thing, your human design is literally going to show you what your unique strategy blueprint is. It is literally the path to self-leadership. It's not a, here's what I think you should do, or some cookie cutter framework. It is literally showing you exactly how to come back to yourself. Now, here's how all of this circles back to your market presence. Okay. You're struggling with consistency, with ideas, with having the energy, the will, the desire to create that strong market presence because it feels like a drain. It's not fun. It's something that you have to do or that you should be doing or is required of you because that's just part of being a business owner. And yeah, visibility, marketing yourself is absolutely a part of being an entrepreneur. Our businesses cannot thrive, cannot survive even without having visibility and marketing ourselves. Okay. But here's the thing, you're struggling with it the way that you are because you're trying to do it in a way that is not designed for you. So if you feel any of these symptoms like inconsistency, dread, draining of energy, anxiety, stress, these are all signs and symptoms that you are working against your design. And human design, one of many aspects of human design, shows you how you're designed to be seen. It shows you your most natural and gifted way of sharing your message, your voice, of making decisions that are right for you and not feeling pressured into doing something that you feel like you should do. And even the best way to execute all of it, which is known as your strategy, so that your message lands and is well received by those who need it most. It actually becomes natural and easy and it's organic and you don't mind doing it. You actually enjoy doing it because of how natural and good it feels for you. It's your own way of doing it. We each have our own way of creating market presence in the market. So find your design and your market presence becomes natural, organic, easy, consistent, and sustainable. And if that's what you're looking for, if that's the solution, then I'm here to tell you that you are not looking for somebody else's blueprint. You're not looking for the next algorithm hack. None of it is going to work for you. I'm here to just claim that for you right now. It's not going to work. This is where you're wasting your time, you're wasting your effort, and you're wasting your money. Instead, turn to you. The answers are already inside of you. And maybe you've heard that before and you're rolling your eyes and you're like, Kimberly, what does that even mean? The answers are already inside of me. I can't figure this out. I don't have the answers. I don't know the way. I don't know what to create, what to write, or even how to write it if I had the ideas of what to write. Everything that I try isn't working. So what do you mean the answers are already inside of me? And it lives inside of your human design. And your design is different from mine, is different from the next person, is different from the next person, is different from the next person. Which is why when you try to implement what I'm doing or what somebody else is doing, or the way that the person on the other side of you is doing, or the account that you're following that is really, really successful, and you're like, oh, if I just do what they're doing, then I can see some success too. They obviously have figured it out. Yes, you're right. They have figured it out. They figured out what works for them. It's your job to figure out what works for you in the marketplace. And your human design is exactly what's going to show you what your right way of doing it is. So I'm going to drop a link in the show notes to book a human design reading with me, where I decode what your visibility blueprint actually is and what that looks like. We jump on a Zoom recorded call for 75 minutes. I give you everything that you need to know to get started, to start implementing this in your day. This isn't just a brain dump. This isn't just more information for you to absorb. This is not adding more to your plate. This is not giving you more to do. It's literally taking what you're currently doing that is no longer serving you and is shifting it to doing something that does serve you. So this is not more work. This is a refinement of what you're already doing, so that the energy and the effort that you're putting into your market presence is actually working for you. And all of this for just $275. Until then, my friends, let's lead your visibility from the inside out. Most conversations about being seen stop at how you market yourself. Here at Visibility Unlocked, we crack open the 3 layers of visibility: market, client, and inner presence. Because without all 3, you're in the wrong visibility. And wrong visibility is just as bad as none. If you've been putting a lot of effort into showing up and still aren't seeing the results you desire, then you know it's time for a different approach. So hit subscribe, because that's exactly what the show is here to give you. And if you're finding value here, please leave a review so others can find their way to their right visibility too. Please note that the information shared in this podcast is not intended as legal, health, or financial advice and is for entertainment purposes only. If you are looking for professional advice in any of these areas, please seek out a local professional. Thank you for being here, and until next time, lead your visibility from the inside out.